Hello. Today we would like to introduce you to the Linux world. We will show you how to install one of the most popular Linux distribution, which is CentOS. We focus on version 7, which is the newest proposition from CentOS community. Alternatively, if you are not fond of Red Hat-based systems, you can skip this article and go to the installation of Debian Linux. We will show you the whole installation process from scratch. The rest, so configuration of particular modules, software, server application, you can find in our another articles stored in IT24.support knowledge base. Let's start. First section covers prerequisites, so all the things which you must have or must to know before you start main installation process. Firstly, you need to have the machine on which you'd like to set up your new Linux system. It can be both physical or virtual machines. It can be PC, laptop, physical server or virtual desktop or server. It doesn't matter what you choose. For the purposes of this article, we will show you installation on virtual machine. We will use VirtualBox as hypervisor. Next, you have to download proper ISO contains CentOS 7 installer. You can go to the websites www.centos.org/download/ and choose one of the three options. First one is DVD ISO. DVD ISO contains base system and another applications. This ISO is mostly used for people who would like to set up desktop environment, as GNOME GUI is included. Second one is minimal ISO, which is mainly proposed for server environment. It contains only base system and all another packages must be installed later by using yum, package management tool. Third one is everything ISO, which is used for the setup of servers, which after installation are central point of internal repository. It contains all packages, which are currently published in official CentOS repository. For this presentation purposes we will install CentOS Linux on virtual machine. We will choose VirtualBox as hypervisor. It's a good solution for tests, development or second desktop purposes. I'm leaving without comments the topic of using this solution in production server environments. The very first thing is to download installer of VirtualBox. Please go to the presented website and choose the option which suits to your operating system. Let's download Windows version. After downloading, we run VirtualBox installer executable file. Welcome window is presented. Click Next button. Choose the options which will be installed. You can leave all the options unchanged. Click Next. Choose the options for creating of shortcuts and menu entries. Click Next. In the window warning, network interfaces, click Yes. Your network can be disconnected for a while. In this step, VirtualBox installs drivers needed for network connectivity between virtual machines and hosted operation system. In the next Windows, click Install button. Installation is in progress. Now you can start VirtualBox by clicking Finish button. VirtualBox window is open. You are ready to create new virtual machine. Click New button. Put name in the window and choose operating system to install. For CentOS you can choose option, Other Linux 64-bit. Click Next. In next window, allocate memory which you plan to use. For the beginning type 1024 and click Next. In next window choose the option Create a virtual hard disk now and click Create. Next choose the type of hard disk file to use. Choose VDI if you do need to use it with other virtualization software. Click Next. In the next window you can choose type of virtual hard drive in the meaning of physical capacity allocation. If you choose dynamically allocated option, your virtual hard drive file will be growing till maximum size which you set in next window. If you choose fixed size, Your virtual hard disk file will be set up from the beginning to maximum size. In the next window you can choose type of virtual hard drive in the meaning of physical capacity allocation. If you choose dynamically allocated option, your virtual hard drive file will be growing till maximum size which you set in next window. If you choose fixed size, your virtual hard disk file will be set up from the beginning to maximum size. In this window you can set up the location and maximum size for virtual hard disk. We leave default settings. However, if you'd like to change these parameters, just do it. Click Create. Now you are ready to start the newly created machine. Select the new machine from the list and click Start button. It's obvious that the newly created machine doesn't have any operating system installed. That's why during the first launch it's needed to choose ISO image of the operating system which will be installed. As you can see on the list we have CentOS 7 Everything ISO available. That's because this ISO file was already downloaded on my PC. However, for us more suitable option will be to install CentOS 7 Minimal ISO. Let's go to the CentOS website and download Minimal ISO. Here we are. So let's click on Minimal ISO. Here we have the list of mirrors, that's in fact HTTP and FTP servers, from which we can download the ISO. The rule is to choose the mirror, which is close as much as possible to your current location. Here you can point to the location in which you'd like to store the ISO file. We're using the default location which is download folder. Click OK. ISO is downloading. When downloading is finished we can go back to the VirtualBox window to choose the proper ISO file. Choose the downloaded file and click Start. Machine is now booting. When you see CentOS 7 Linux screen you can speed up further booting by pressing Enter. You will see Linux starting. Let's wait for the first installers window. Here we are. On the first screen let's choose the language used during installation process. On this screen we are going to set up some general settings applied to the installation. First one are regional settings. Please choose your time zone. Next choose or check your language. The next two options remain unchanged. Installation source is local media, because you are using local ISO CentOS installer file. Software selection remain also unchanged, as we install from Minimal ISO. Now you have to configure destination of your installation. In other words, it means that you have to partitioning your virtual hard disk. It's the time to choose the place where your new Linux will be installed. The good practice is to partition your hard drive to a separated place for system data, application and configuration data. However, it always depends on destiny of the server. If it's production machine, definitely partition it. If it's desktop, development or test machine, it's not required. For the purposes of this presentation we leave one partition for all data. Well, let's choose your local disk and click Done button. Now we are going to configure network connection. We can see one network adapter here, but the IP address points to localhost, which is weird. Let's leave it now as it is. We'll back to this topic later and fix the configuration. We can start installation. The very basic thing is to set up users' credentials. In Linux we use root as the account with fully administrative rights. It's also good, but not obligated to set normal user account which will be used to access your Linux machine on daily basis. Let's set up password for user root. Password needs to fulfill complexity requirements. However, CentOS gives us possibility to make exception. You can set simple password, but you have to confirm it by pressing Done button twice. Your Linux is installing now. This process take a while. You can observe progress. However, if you tired, you can scroll forward. Installation is finished. You have to reboot your machine. In a couple of seconds your machine will be booted and finally you can see the login prompt. Here you are. Put root as username and password which you set earlier. Now it's time to make the initial configuration of your machine. Let's start with fixing network connection. As you remember from the beginning of installation, there was the incorrect IP address which in fact is localhost. It's not acceptable, because our machine has to have the access to the internet. In order to fix this issue we have to modify the configuration file, which is responsible for network configuration, for our particular network interface. You have to open the text editor. We use Vi. In the configuration file you have to set parameter on boot to the value of yes. In Vi you can start editing by pressing key insert. Then you have to go to the proper line and modify this parameter. Then press escape key and write WQ and press enter. Then you have to restart the service called Network Manager. Put the command systemcll restart Network Manager. Your network settings will be reloaded and you should see the proper IP address assigned to your network interface. Also check routing table. Oh, there is no basic command route. Well, in minimal installation there is no package which contains basic network scripts. Let's install them. In CentOS we are using yum to manage the operating system packages. First we have to initialize yum. Please follow the commands presented. As you can see a lot of packages are going to be updated. This is good. Let's give him a chance to upgrade. Let's check if we have network scripts available. Oh. No. There are not available. Why? Because we only upgraded the currently installed packages, nothing else. We have to install NetTools package. Again, we are using yum. When package is installed, you are able to run basic network commands like route, netstat and so on. Okay. Now we have to check if SSH server is installed. SSH server is used to handle remote terminal connection to your machine. It's very crucial to have it operated. We can find SSHD configuration, which means the server is installed. Now we try to make the remote connection to the machine. First, check to which IP address we should initiate the connection. We can see IP 10.0.2.15. Let's open PuTTY application. PuTTY is a very nice Windows SSH client. You can find the URL to download PuTTY under this video on our website. Open PuTTY, put IP address in host name field and click open. Nothing happens. You can't establish connection. Why? That's because the interface in VirtualBox configuration for this machine is set to NAT. In order to have a possibility to accept incoming connections, you have to reconfigure the settings to use bridged interface. Follow us and go to the tab Devices. Then to Network and Network Settings. Change Attach to Parameter to Bridged Adapter and name to the physical interface of your physical machine. For Wi-Fi connection, please find Wi-Fi adapter, and for cable connection look for Ethernet. Once it's set, click OK button. Now restart again your network manager. Check the current IP address. As you can see, now it looks better. Its private IP address from class C subnet 192.168.2.0 is used in my Wi-Fi network. Let's check again connection to SSH from PuTTY. Wow! It works now. We can make remote connection to our machine through SSH. You can perform the basic Linux commands like unamr to check which version of kernel is installed, or who, to check who is currently logged into the machine. The next very basic, but very useful command, which probably you know very well, is ping. Ping sends ICMP packets to the provided destination and waits for reply. It's useful to check network connectivity and latency. However, nowadays ICMP packets are mostly blocked on firewalls. That's why you can't see reply in our examples. As you can see on the first two examples, host names are unknown. It means they cannot be resolved in DNS. You can check configuration of your DNS server in the file /etc/resolve.conference. You can use cat command to see content of this file. As you can see, 2 DNS servers are configured. The third hostname nba.com is resolved properly. The last useful command which I show you today is top command. It shows processes which are currently running, memory and CPU usage. Our today's lesson are going to the end. Summarize: you have working Linux CentOS 7 machine. The installation is completely minimal, so you can use this fresh system to make whatever you want. In the next tutorials we'll show you how to install and configure some interesting applications and databases. For now, I'd like to say thank you. Goodbye. And see you next time.